Okay. So in your system, what exactly you need to do is, I can say, the first thing is PyCharm ID is required. Okay, so this is one thing. Not only PyCharm IDE, you can take any one IDE. So IDE is mandatory. And the second thing is MySQL you need to install, right? MySQL database you need to install in your system. Right, so I have given one video to how to install the MySQL and I have given some URL also for that one. To interact actually the Python with a database, in core Python, there is no predefined library. Right, assume this is the Python application and yeah, this is Python application. And to connect with the Python application with the database, there is no predefined library in core Python. Okay, so when you install a Python software, automatically you will not get that one. So what exactly we need to do is we need to install the separate connector. Then only we can connect your Python application with database. I can say here this is Python app, or you can say Python program, anything. If you want to connect your Python program with the database, it may be the MySQL, it may be the Oracle, MS SQL Server, anything, just we need to install one connector so that we can interact with the database. So what are the steps we need to do here in case if you want to connect your MySQL with the database? So what are the steps we need to do? So first thing is open your IDE and after that just to go to the file menu here. Okay, so in file menu, here you can find out the settings option. Just to concentrate guys so that you can complete from your end also. Then only your database connectivity programs will be executed. Otherwise the programs will not be executed. So the first step is open file menu. And after that, here you can find out the settings option. Just to click on that settings option. So when you click on the settings option, just you need to remember here your projects. In case if you create only one project, that's fine. But in case if you create multiple projects, just to remember in which project you want to install that particular library. Okay, so that particular project you need to select it. So when you go to the settings here, you'll get this option. And in that you need to select your project. Okay, here you'll get the list of projects in case if you create here the multiple folders. But in my system, I have only one folder, that is Python project. So select that folder and in that you can find out the Python interpreter. Just to select that one. If you select the Python interpreter, by default, you will not get this MySQL connector. In my system, I did that one. That's why you can able to see here the MySQL connector. But otherwise, by default, you will get only PIP setup tools as well as builds. That's it. So by default, you'll get some predefined library, but you will not get this MySQL connector. Then how to install? How to install that library in your system? Here you can find out the plus symbol. Just to click on that plus symbol. So this is actually installation. Okay, so just click on that plus symbol, and whatever the library you want to install, just you need to type that library here. To connect with the MySQL, we need to install actually MySQL connector. Just to type here MySQL, and here it will show you the MySQL connector option. Just to select it. Okay, so just to select this option, and right side it will show you the version as well as the few things here. And after selection of this one, here you can find out the install package. Just click on that one. That's it. It will take very few seconds, guys, to install the MySQL library in your system. So after completion of that one, here you can find out the MySQL connector. That's it. So from your side, you need to complete all these steps, guys. So once again, I'm going to tell you here how to install the library in PyCharm IDE. First thing is go to the file menu, and after that go to the settings option here. So when you click on the settings option, here you need to choose your project. In your project, there is a Python interpreter file is there. Just click on that one. In that file here, you should get MySQL connector. So by default, you will not get that MySQL connector. Sure. Then you need to install that one. If you want to install, very simple thing, just click on the plus symbol here and type the library, whatever the library you need, just type that library. So here, just if you type here the MySQL, then it will show you the MySQL connector. After that here, just click on the install package. That's it. That is what you're supposed to do. So this one is clear. Are there any confusions to install the default packages? So once
Clear.
you are done with this one, just you can create one file. I can create a new file here directly. Okay, Python file I'm going to take here. That is, okay, let me take here example2 file only. So that is, yeah, example2.python file. This is the file. So very first step is, in case if you want to interact with the database, that is of MySQL, you have to import one predefined package, that is MySQL dot connector. See, in case if the package is not installed successfully, then here you'll get the error. So in my system, I have installed that one. So it is not showing any error. This is not error, not a problem. So next time onwards, we should use this complete name, MySQL dot connector we should use. But instead of using this one, what we can do is we can give some alias name also, so that we can give like alias name like this AS, and some alias name we can give. Let's take here some shortcut also. Just I'm going to give here C is the shortcut for MySQL connector, which means whenever you want to use here the MySQL connector, there directly we can use a C. That's it. So now first thing is, in case if you want to connect with the MySQL database, okay, in my system I have installed the MySQL database, right? So simply we can take here C dot, means whatever the reference variable is there, that reference variable dot, there is a one predefined function that is connect method. Okay, that is actually connect. So in this connect, we need to provide a few things. One thing is the domain name. So which means here I'm saying your Python application is connecting with the database, right? Which means your Python application is in one system. On the same system, maybe sometimes we can install the database also. Okay, so which means your Python application is present in same system as well as the database also in the same system. Both are in same system. But in real time, Python application will be maybe available in one system, and the database, of course, maybe we will install in another system. Then what we need to do is we need to give just IP address of the database in the program. So to connect with the database, the first parameter is domain name we need to give. That is actually IP address. Okay, so that is called actually IP address. So that thing we need to provide first. Okay. The second thing is, if you want to connect with the MySQL, definitely you need some username and the password is required. And within your database, if you observe in your MySQL, if you observe here, root is my password. And there is a specific databases also. If you want to check the list of databases, we can use a show databases query so that it will show you the list of databases. So this one also we need to provide, like database name also we need to provide. So what are the things we need to provide here? One thing is the domain name, and the second thing is username, and the third one is password, and the last one is the database name. So those things we need to provide. So just to remember that part, just I can say here, let me close this one. And 1 second, guys. So just to remember those three things we need to provide to connect with the database. And I hope you have installed MySQL software in your system. Okay, let me. Yeah, in my system also I have installed that one. So MySQL, and let me create one database first. Yes, already I have created one thing, that is Python batch. Yesterday we have created this one, right? So I'm going to connect with the database first of all, Python batch, and in that show tables. Yes, there is one table also. Okay, I'm going to drop this table, guys, in case if you want to drop the table. So simply we can use drop table and the table name. Now after that, in case if you want to check the list of tables, simply we can check that one. And it is saying there is no tables in that. Okay, so database point of view, everything is ready. Now here we need to connect with a few parameters. The first one is the domain name that we can specify here. Host equals to, directly I'm going to provide here the local host. So when you can provide the local host, in case if the database is present in your system, then you can specify the local host. In case if you want to connect with the other system database, then we need to provide the IP address there. That is one parameter. And the second parameter is username, right? Just you need to give here the user. And by default, MySQL username is root only. Okay, so if you install MySQL command line client in our system, by default username is root only. You cannot change, but you can change the password. So whatever the password you have given, just you need to give the password here. Just we need to write the password is a parameter. And in my system, the password is root only. Okay. So after that, if you want to connect with the database, just we need to give here database equals to. So what is the database we have? So Python batch is the database. That's it. So just remember, first step is we are importing actually the MySQL connector library. And instead of writing every time MySQL connector, just I'm going to use here the alias name, that is C variable. So after that, simply we can use here c.connect. And within that, you can provide here the parameters like first one is the host, that is local host, which is nothing but a database location it will specify. Second thing is the username of the database and password of the database. And finally, in that particular databases, list of databases, which database we need to connect. So that is what we specified here. And for this, just I'm going to store in some reference variable, that is CON variable. But of course, this is that user defined variable. You can give anything, just connection information it will store here. So after that, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to check here the connection like con dot is connected is the method to check whether connection is established or not. Okay, so if the connection is established or not, I would like to check that one. So what I can do is just without if condition. So first of all, I'm going to give here the print method. It will return true in case if the connection is established successfully. Otherwise, it will return false. So, but before that, what you need to do is you need to install MySQL software in your system, and MySQL connector you need to install so that you will not get any problem. Okay, so let me run this one and we'll see that output first. So see here the connection is established successfully. Okay, so because there is a database is ready and my username as well as password also ready, that is correct. And in local system, there is a MySQL software also. So let me give you here the password is wrong. Just I'm going to give you here the password is root1. Then when you run this program, it is giving error, which is nothing but the password is wrong. It is saying, see here it is saying access denied for user root present in the local machine. So access denied in the sense something is wrong with the credentials. Okay, so it is not connected because of the database username password is wrong. Or in case if the database is not created, just I'm going to give this here a wrong name, Python batch 1. there is a different name I have created, and still it is giving here the message like unknown database, that is Python batch 1. So while executing our programs also, just to remember guys, please try to read these numbers as well as the messages, unknown database and that particular name in case if you are getting like this, which means that in our system, this particular database is not present. So first of all, you need to create the database, then try to establish the connection. Okay, so clearly it is saying unknown database, which means the database is not present. So you need to create the database first. That is one thing. But in case if the username is mistake or password is mistake, then it will give you the access denied error. So username definitely you cannot change for the MySQL, but password you can change. So similarly, in case if the local host is wrong, then also it will give you the error. In case if the MySQL is not installed in your system, so then also it will give you the error. So fine, previous program, just I have given here the Python batch and the connection is established successfully. So in this way, you can check whether the database is connected or not for Python application. So this is one thing. Just I'm going to send this thing in the chart window. But the problem is, are you able to see the messages in the chart window? Okay. Everyone, same issue. You're unable to see the messages in the chart window. But here I can see that messages here. Okay, so then I will do one thing. I will copy this one and I will share with the Salman, and Salman will share with you. Right. So this is the first program to connect with the database. Just to check whether the database is connected or not. So this is one point. So now in case if the database is connected successfully, then we can create a cursor actually. So just I'm going to give you here some message. If database is connected successfully without any errors. So then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take here the cursor with help of cursors. I can say here with help of cursors, then you can execute SQL queries. So just I'm going to give you here, I can say DB is the variable. So cursor is the predefined method which is used to execute, which is used to create an object to execute your SQL queries. So now with help of this one, just I'm going to create here. There is a method called execute. Here just I'm going to pass here one query, that is create a table. The table name is student. Just I'm going to pass here name varchar of 20, and after that I'm going to take here the marks, integer, gender, and I'm going to take here again varchar of some 10. That's it. I have created one query, and before running this program, what I'm trying to do is just I'm going to check here the list of tables before. Right, it is showing empty set, right? Which means there is no student table, right? It is not present in that one. Okay. So and finally, what exactly we need to do is after completion of this one, just we can close this DB connection. That's it. Now let me run this one and we'll check whether really the database, okay, the table got created or not. Let me run this. Okay, something is missing here. Check SQL syntax. Create a table, table name, name, marks, gender, what is the mistake in this one? You have an error in SQL query syntax. Create table name is there, marks, gender, any spelling mistakes? No, right? Where is the parenthesis? But here we have given, na?
One more you had.
Okay, okay. Yeah, for student, here I have opened, right? Right. Of course, we didn't given any print statement. That's why we're not getting any message. But otherwise, let me check here whether table got created or not. And here just we can write the show tables and see here the table got created. So programmatically, we are creating actually the table. And if you want to describe the table structure, means the list of columns, we can use here the command like a DESC. DESC stands for describe. Describe, and you can give here the table name so that it will give you the list of columns in that. So there is a name column, yes, and marks column, gender column. Yes, it is creating the list of columns. That's it. This is the one more program, guys, to create table using Python to the MySQL. So later what we can do is, if the connection is not established successfully, just we can print some error message also. So this is one thing, and I would like to store some information into the table also. Okay, so similarly, just remaining steps are same. Connection established done. Then here within the execute, just we need to write your SQL query. But a very small change here, what I can do is we can use here insert into. Okay, so insert into table name values. And after that, just I'm going to give you here 3 question marks. Let me try this one. But we have another way also. Just let me take here the tuple and I'm going to give you here triple A, comma, and the second value is marks. Third value is gender, right? I can say here male. That's it. Now let me run this one, and here you can see not all parameters used in the SQL statement. Okay, 3 parameters are there, and I have used actually 3 parameters. Okay, so this is the latest version. Just let me take here. And what we can do is just we need to give here the value, and everything should be in a string format. So this is one more way to install. Sorry, val is also not taking a. Let me try to see here the data. If you want to get the data from the table, just we can use here select, and after that star is nothing but all the columns, and from table name, and you can see the data. Data is not inserted, which means that is not committed. So there is a another method. One second, guys. Let me check my server system. So let me give you just a brief idea on first of all the DML, guys, so that you can understand okay why we need to do the commit also. So normally, so in SQL there is one simple concept. Okay, so normally SQL commands will be divided into DDL commands as well as the DML commands. Okay, there are other commands also like TCL commands are there, DCL commands are there. But right now, remember just DDL commands is nothing but a just we can remember here drop and I can say here create. There is a alter and there is a truncate command also. So coming to the DML is nothing but a data manipulation language, and here the commands are like a select, update is there, insert is there, and one more thing is the delete is there. So if you go a little bit depth, actually we have the DQL also, and the select command comes under the DQL only. Okay, so then we can remove this one here. Remember, the SQL commands will be divided into like this, but other than that, we have the TCL commands and DCL commands also, data control language as well as transactions control language. But of course, we are not talking about those two types. Here, the data definition language. Data definition language is nothing but okay, we have the commands like this. Drop command, which is used to drop the table, and the create command is used to create the database, create the table. And alter is nothing but just to change in the table structure, like adding the column, removing the column. And if you want to change the data type size, and we can use that alter column. And the truncate is nothing but just to delete all the columns in the, sorry, all the data in the table, then we can use the truncate. So now select is nothing but okay, which is used to retrieve the data. Okay. So all these commands, if you want to run actually the DDL commands as well as the DQL commands, by default, each and every command is auto committed. So auto committed is nothing but we cannot roll back the transactions. Okay. So once if you drop the table or once if you drop the database, we cannot take back again. So but in real time, okay, of course, we have the backup servers and the backup servers, we have the data, not a problem. But I'm telling here the DDL commands as well as the DQL commands by default auto committed. We cannot roll back it. So those are the dangerous operations. Coming to the DML commands, DML commands is nothing but if you observe here, update, there is a chance to do this mistake. Okay, very frequent operation. Update is nothing but a very frequent operation. So if you have student data, okay, there may be a chance to do some name mistakes, marks mistake, gender mistake, mobile number mistake, college name mistake. There is chance. So this is the frequent operation. And insert is nothing but a definitely we are changing actual number of rows, right? Updating is nothing but a we are changing the table data by using update command. Insert is nothing but of course you are inserting the new record, which means operations are not auto committed. Okay, so not auto committed programmatically. So when you are trying to execute these commands only, like a DML operations only, what exactly we need to do is we need to do auto. Okay, we need to commit the transaction. Okay, boss, you are updating something. Really, do you want to do that one or not? Just it will give you some alert box. So just you need to click OK, then it will commit that one. So that normally this concept will work in operating system also. In case if you open some file, if you are trying to close that file, it will give you the some alert box. Really, do you want to close this one or not? Or the file is not saved. Still, if you want to close, just press no, otherwise press yes. So those are not auto committed. Okay. So for that purpose, just we need to manually say commit operations. So that is what I did here. Uh, yeah, in older versions, yes, without committing also it will work, but in the new versions, it is not allowing. So manually we need to do this one. And even the database closing also, connection closing also optional. So which means in case if you forget about the closing the connection, that's not a problem. It will work because there is a connection pool limit. That's not a problem. It will work. So that is what I'm saying. This is optional. Even the auto committing also optional. But in the latest version, it is not allowing. So just we need to write this extra step. That's it. So the first point is, first of all, we are importing the MySQL connector and we are giving some alias name. And then later we are establishing the connection. This is common to each and every step. After that, just we are checking whether connection is established or not. So after that, we are creating some cursor so that we can execute some SQL queries. With help of the cursor object, we can execute SQL queries. Very simple thing, just we need to write here the db.execute. And after that, whatever the SQL query you want to write, just you can write that SQL query. In the previous program, we have seen how to create a table. Okay, so how to create the table. But generally in real time, as a programmer, we will not create the table, guys. But just example purpose, I'm telling, okay, how to create the table through Python program. But in real time, no one will create the table with help of the program because that will be taken care by the database developer. Database developer will give you the table structure first of all, and you need to take the input from the user. Program responsibility is you need to take the input from the user and you need to pass those values to the database. That's it. Okay, so coming to here, the insert operation also like this we can give here. And whatever the values you want to insert, just we can give that values here. And finally, if it is insert operation, delete operation, update operation, you need to commit that, then we can see the data. Otherwise, we cannot see the data. And finally, just you need to close the connection. So this is actually the static one. Okay, if you observe carefully, this is the static program, which means whatever the values you want to store, simply you are specifying here only. But normally in real time, I would like to take the data from the user and the same data I want to store into the database. So for that purpose, what exactly we can do is here after creation of the cursor, just I'm going to take the name. Okay, one thing, just I'm going to give here input. I can say here enter name. And after that, I'm going to take here the marks. That is, yeah, by default, it will allow the string type allows all type of data. That's not a problem. Enter marks also, because we are not doing any mathematical operations, right? So not a problem. So I'm going to take here enter marks, and after that the gender also I'm going to take, that is input enter gender. That's it. And finally, what I'm trying to do is within the db.execute method, just I'm going to insert some values into this table. Just three parameters, just we need to provide the three percentages symbols. And here, instead of giving the values directly, what we need to do is we need to give here directly the variable names. That is the name, comma, marks, comma, and directly we can give the gender. And finally, I'm committing that operation. Finally, I'm closing the connection also. That's it. Let me run this one. And here you can see, okay, it is asking actually the name. Let me type here. I can say here Ravi, and the marks is equals to 23 and the gender is equals to male. That's it, inserted successfully. And you can go to the database, and once again here you can check, select a star from student, and here you can see the data. So this is the dynamic program. So in this way, and practicals will be like this only. So not static data. So we need to give the chance to user always to take the data from the user. We will use already input functions, already you know this one. Just after taking this one, just you need to remember this particular syntax enough. So only the change is in case if you want to connect it with the SQLite, just we need to import the library, the SQLite library. In case if you want to connect it with the Oracle library, we need to install. If you want to connect with the MS SQL server, just we need to install MS SQL server library. And here you need to give the import statement is related to Oracle, MS SQL server, SQLite. That's it. The remaining steps are same. Connection establishment, same. And after connection, the cursor creation as well as the SQL queries, each and everything is same. But very small differences when compared to the MySQL and Oracle only. Here we'll take the integer. To take the number values, we'll take actually int data type. And if it is a Oracle, of course, we'll use actually the number. That's it. Like that, very small differences are there, database to database, but otherwise the process is same. Connection establishment and executing SQL queries. So this is one thing, very important thing also, just reading the data from the user and storing the data into the database. In real time, directly you'll get actually the GUI screens. So within the GUI screen, there are a number of text fields. So customer will enter the data into the text field. Simply we will take the data. Instead of taking it from console, we'll take the data from the text fields and simply we can store the data like this. That's it. So now we have seen how to create a table and at the same time how to insert the data into the table also. Now let's see here. I'm going to show you here update and delete also. Let me insert few more records here. I can say here Rahul, and the marks is equals to 89 and the gender is equals to again male. So one record. Okay, I'm going to give here Pavani because I'm going to use now the where class, guys, so that we need to actually few records. So female, and one second, I can say here Lalita, and the score is 33. Gender is female. That's it. Now just to go to the database, and here we have inserted few records, right? Like just let me show you that one first. See here, we have almost 5 records here. That is triple A, Ravi, Rahul, Pavani, and Lalita. Okay, we have 5 candidates. So now in case if you want to retrieve the data, what you can do is directly we can use here the select command. So one thing, just I can remove this one, right? Just after creation of the cursor, instead of executing actually the insert command, what I can do is I can take here select a star from what? Select star from table name. Directly we can give here the student, but I don't know here it will work or not. Let me try here. DB dot actually there is a fetch all command is there, and later I'm going to print here the DB fetch all is nothing but just it will retrieve the all the records for that SQL query. So for this SQL query, what is the records you'll get? select a star from table is that nothing but a just you'll get the all the rows in the table. Okay, and that will be stored in db variable. Okay, that db variable I'm printing here. Okay, so there is a record. So yeah, there is a data in that. Let me try here. What I can do is just I'm going to take here for I in db. Just I'm going to iterate one by one. Let me try here. Otherwise, yeah, we have another way. Let me think here. There is no data. Then what we can do is just we can store the data in one variable, right? One variable. And after that, let me try to print the data. This is actually object. Data is not a individual record. Data is an object. Unread result found. So I can take here the data, then print of I. On type, I can say here 0 or 1 something. See, this is just a problem with the database to database. And there's intonation issue also there. Okay, then simply we can use here db dot fetch all. This is only the correct one, but I don't see that data. Just we need to print it. Yes, there is a data here. You can see total how many rows we have. Total 5 rows here we have. And yeah, this is one row. This is one more row. This is, yeah, there is a data here, but that is in list format, right? I can say here, yeah, that is what I'm iterating now, but why I'm not getting that one? For I can say here row in data variable, and every time I'm going to print a separate row so that you'll get in a different rows. That is what my expectation, right? And within the tuple, yeah, right. So let's see, guys. So here, just after creation of the cursor, just similar to previous query, just I'm using here db.execute, and within the execute method, just I'm passing the query that is select a star from student. So after passing this one, you'll get the list of records from the student table, and the student table contains almost 5 records, and the 5 records just I'm fetching. Okay, so fetch all method, it will returns the all the records for this SQL query. For this SQL query, output is what? 5 records. And the 5 records I'm fetching and I'm storing in another variable that is a data variable as you. So later I'm checking the one by one row and I'm printing that row. So this is actually row, guys. From data, we have some list of rows actually. So in that I'm taking the one by one row and I'm printing that one. So that's why it is getting here one row, second row, third row, fourth row like this. But if you want to print the specific columns, what we can do is just we can use here directly the 0 row of 0, which means in first row the 0th column is what? Only the name, so that you'll get the only name column. And after that, in case if you want to print the marks column, just we can use a little bit space. I can say here, okay. So just I'm going to give you a little bit space. After that, I'm going to write here once again a row of 1 so that you'll get the second column also, that is marks column. Okay, so the number of characters here, that is not same, that's why it is looking like this. And similarly, if you want to print, I can say here the gender, then what we can do is just we can give here row of 2 so that you'll get the gender also. That's it. But before that, in case if you want to print some heading also, you can print that one. Just I can say here name. After that, little bit gap. I can say here after that marks. After that, I can say here gender. Before for loop, guys. Before for loop is nothing but a just it will print only one time, but the records will be print more than one time. Okay, so just you need to adjust the spaces. Enough. That's it. So in this way, you can retrieve the records also. Okay, so this is completely depending on the number of alphabets in a given name, so that can get. So very simple thing here also, just whatever the statement you want to write, just you can write the statement. And finally, if you want to print like this, just you can print that one. And if you print row, which means you'll get the entire row as output. But if you need sometimes the specific column, just we can give that specific columns also here. Okay, so that you can print like this. This is the select operation, guys. So now we have seen insert operation, how to insert the records. And this is actually the select operation, how to retrieve the records from the table. So this is all the records. And similarly, just I'm going to try here one more thing. I can say here where marks greater than 50. Okay, whose marks is greater than 50, those students information I want to print. That is, I can say 3 students you'll get, that is 90, 89 and 56, right? Let me try this one. Just I can say here, when you run this program, and here you can see we got AAA information who got 90, Rahul information who got 89, and Pawan information who got 56. So like this, you can use here the where class also. So within the where class, if you provide some condition like less than, greater than, so equal to exactly the same score or not equals to, or where name is equal to something, or where gender is equal to something. So all these things you can provide. Okay, so this is one thing. In case if you want to use the where class, in this way we can use. So don't worry, just to last 5 minutes, I will give you just to recap on whole thing. And just whatever the records you want to delete, just you can write that record also. Let me try here one thing. Actually static, right? I can say here 50. If it is not working, old syntax, yes, it is old syntax actually. It is not allowing that one. Just let me say here percentage, yes. Yes, this is actually the old syntax, the old syntax, invalid syntax. Which means even it is not considering that as value. Right. So now this one also, you need to take it from the user. Like in case if you want to take the student's information whose score is greater than the user entered value. Then what you can do is just you can take here the marks, right? Marks is equals to input. I can say here enter marks, so that you can check here select a star from table name where marks is greater than, and whatever the marks here we have given, just we need to give that marks variable. But one suggestion here, in case if you are taking only single variable, just separate with the comma. But in case if you have multiple values, definitely you will use at least one comma. Even though if you have single value, just to specify one single comma, guys. Otherwise, that will not take. Okay. Otherwise, it will consider as an object, not a value. So if you specify at least one comma, that's fine. It will give you the output. So when you run this one, and here it is asking the 50. Okay, when I enter the score 50, then it is again syntax mistake. In case if I provide 50, it is working, right? Right. In case if you take, yeah, if you provide 50, it is working, but what is the problem? Okay, let me convert into integer. Maybe it is not taking the string format. I can say here marks. So I'm going to do this one. Just let me enter 50 here. Yes, it is working. Okay, try to convert it into integer, because maybe in MySQL the data type is integer. So that's why it is not working. So this is one thing, guys. Just how to retrieve that data, specific data. So let's take it. Otherwise, I would like to print actually the students information who score between 50 to 70, 70 to 80, like that. Okay. So then I can say here yes marks means, which is nothing but a starting marks. And I'm going to take here, I can say here low marks, low underscore marks. Similarly, just I'm going to give you here another thing is upper marks. Okay. Over, I can say here starts marks. This is upper marks. And what you can do is you can give here select a star from student where marks between we can use directly, where marks between, I can say here and one more percentage yes, and so you can give here one thing is low marks comma upper marks. Maybe I forget here the bracket, huh? No, right? Try here brackets, and here you can see, let me run this. And the low marks is, let's take here the 40, and the highest marks is, let's take here the 70. What is the mistake here? Brackets, huh? Previously I didn't given the brackets. I can say here the 40, and here it is given 70. Okay, let's take here is 40 and 70. Okay, between 40 to 70, we have only one candidate, that is Pavani. 40 to 70, yes. This is just a range of values, guys. A range of values. Once again, let me run this one and let me show you that one. I can say here 50 to 95. Okay, we have three students. 50 to 95. We have three students. So in this way, we can use actually the between operator also. Okay, select a star from student where marks between the starting value here and the stop value here, so that it will give you the between values. So this is one more thing. See here, just I'm going to give you just a brief idea once again, just to recap on this one. Then I will show you the both the things also, like a delete as well as update operations also. The first thing is, if you want to connect with the MySQL database, very simple thing is we need to install the MySQL connector in your PyCharm IDE. Okay, once you are done with that one, for each and every program, these are the common steps. We have to import MySQL connector, and better if you take the some alias name so that you can write the program very quickly. Second thing is, the second step is the connection establishment. To establish the connection, we need to provide few things. That is host name. Just we need to provide the local host. Definitely we are not working with the different system. So we need to provide the local host here, and after that username, password, and whatever the database is name is you have created in your database, like MySQL. Just we need to provide the database name. Later, just this is just to check whether the connection is established or not. To check that one, we are using is connected method. So in the second program, what exactly we did? We did the same thing. The first three lines are same, connection establishment, and after that we are checking whether the connection is established or not. So next point is we need to create the cursor object to execute your SQL queries. Okay, so if you want to execute your SQL queries, very simple thing, just we need to create the cursor object. So later I have given here db.execute, and here just we need to give like a table creation SQL query, create table name, and whatever the column names you want to create along with the data types we need to provide. So that's it. And finally, just I'm using here the close. And this is by default auto committed, so no need to use connection.commit operations. Okay. So a SQL, definitely these three things are the very important: DDL, DQL as well as DML. So DDL as well as DQL are the auto committed, so no need to perform any commit operations manually. But when you are working with the DML operations, so we need to use the connection.commit operation. Coming to in this program, just what we are doing is we are inserting the some records. So in case if you have three columns, just we need to provide the 3% symbol, 4 columns, 4%, 5. So depending on the number of columns, we need to provide that one, and whatever the values you want to give, just we need to give that values. That's it. But when you are inserting, just to make sure, remember here, we need to commit that operation. So in the previous program, we have inserted actually the static data, that is AAA 90 and mail. That is the static data. We are not giving the chance to user. In the next program, I have given the chance to user. Okay, I'm taking the data from the user here. And finally, I'm storing the data into the database. So this is one thing. And after that, the next thing is, if you are done with the insert operation and the creation operation, select operation is very, very important. So while selecting the data, so first operation is retrieve all the records from the table. So which means select a star from table name, means all the records you will get. And here you can use the fetch all method to retrieve all the records. So, okay, I'm retrieving that one, and this is just for printing purpose. Later we can use here the list of records you'll get, and the list of records I'm taking one by one row, and I'm printing one by one row here. But if you print row, you'll get all the columns. But in case if you want to print the specific column, just you can print that one. Because in real time, okay, maybe the table contains 12 columns and 15 columns also. But while generating the report, okay, we may take only the 5 columns or 10 columns. Okay, 5 columns or 6 and 7 columns is enough. Okay, no need to take all the columns. So in this situation, just we can use this concept like a 0th column, first column, 7th column, whatever the column names required, just we need to provide that column name here. And finally, just I'm closing the connection here. So this is select operation, and we are retrieving all the rows here. But if you want to retrieve only the specific rows based on some conditions, then we can use here the where clauses also. The same steps here. Select a star from table name where marks is greater than 50 or less than 50, not equals to 50, equal to 50, or where name is equal to something, gender is equal to something. So you need to try all these things. If you want to print only the female candidates, what exactly you'll do? Where gender is equals to male or where gender is equals to female. So then you'll get only the female students information. That's it. Like this, you need to try this one. And finally, I'm closing that one. And yeah, this is actually the dynamic when compared to the previous one. Here I have actually mentioned 50, but we should not mention actually 50. Directly, we need to use the chance to use that again here. And so this is the dynamic. Just you need to try this one. And after that, this is the between command. So you can use the between command like this, just marks between and all these things. Okay. So similarly, just whatever the commands you want to run, just you can run those commands also. I will show you a few more things here. I can say here, select a star from table name. Just I'm going to give you the remaining commands also. I can give here order by marks. So which is nothing but you will get actually the ascending order. Okay, marks wise you'll get all the reports, but ascending order you'll get. But for that purpose, the start value as well as stop value is not required now. Just I can say here, remove this one and run this one. Just only have added here order by marks. That's it. And let's see here. 23, 33, 56, 89, and 90. So by default, you got actually ascending order. And actual data is like this. 90 is the first, after the 23, 89, 56, and 33. And when you use order by command, so simply it will give you the order by score. So this is actually the ascending order. So similarly, in case if you want to print in a descending order, if you want to print descending order, just we need to use here order by marks, and just we need to use the DESC command so that it will give you the output in descending order. See here 90, 89, 56, 33 as well as 23. So I'm not saying order by is possible with the marks only. If you want to take, you can take name wise also. Name wise also, gender wise also, city name also. So you can take everything. So this is order by command. One more important command here. Simple things, but you need to try from your end also. With all this operation, how to retrieve the specific data, how to display the data in ascending order as well as descending order based on the name column or gender column or marks column. So this is one thing, and I would like to do one more thing here. The update operations. Okay, let me try here the update operations. I can say here. Okay, just I'm going to write one query here, that is update. Okay, so update the table name. I can say here set. I can say here marks is equals to, just I'm going to pass here the percentage, where name equals to again the percentage. So just I'm going to make this one as a dynamic again, and I'm going to say here new marks equals to int of input, enter your new score. Okay, to who you want to change, that is name, right? Just I'm going to take here input, enter name. That's it. Then the first parameter should be actually the new score, right? What is the variable name? New marks. And the second variable name should be the name variable. And this is commit operation is compulsory here because this is the DML operation. Just we can use here. So now with this program, what I want to do is I would like to change here the Ravi score 23 to 85. Let's try that one. 23 to 85. Okay, let me run this one. And when you run this one, here it is showing the score. It is asking, I have entered actually 85, and it is asking actually the name. Just I'm going to enter here the Ravi. And let me try here. Program got executed successfully. But when it's try here, okay, here you can see Ravi's score is 85, but previous score is 23 only. So in this way we can update the data, and this is also the dynamic program only. We are taking from the user, and after that we are updating that one. So this is one more operation, the update operation. But remember, from your end, you can try a lot of things, guys. Maybe there is maybe a name mistake. Name if you want to change, marks if you want to change, gender if you want to change. Then again, you need to use the same command. Okay, the same process. Coming to the one more operation, that is a delete operation, right? I can say here based on the name I would like to delete. So I can take here enter name, and just we need to give here delete from student where name is equals to, just we can give here the percentage, yes, comma. I can take here name. This is one parameter only, na? Just we need to give here the comma. And again the DML operation, na, commit. Just we need to use the con dot commit. Okay, which record you want to delete? Just I can say here Lalita record I would like to delete. Just I can say here the name is Lalita, and let's see here whether the record got deleted or not. Once again, I'm going to check here, select a star from table name. See here, we have only 4 records. So which means Lalita record is deleted successfully. So in this way, you can delete the records also. See, almost we have seen all the operations. But don't worry, in case if you have any doubts, again, I will clear all your doubts. But at least for each and every operation, you need to check at least one operation, guys. And you need to do a little bit practice also on this one. Just how to create a table, how to insert the data, how to select the data, how to use where class, order by, how to print ascending order, descending order. But of course, in case if you have some basic idea about grid functions like min function, max function, you can work with that one also. But otherwise, it's light, and just you can just you should know how to connect with the database. That's enough. Interview point of view, they will ask, do you know how to connect with the MySQL? Just then you can say, okay, I can insert the data, delete the data, update the data. I can retrieve the data by using where classes. You can retrieve the specific information. So like that, you can convey all these things. Right. I will send this one with actually Salman for today. And I don't know exactly why it is not working, the chart window also.
Nagul, I think it's working. Can you share once again here?
Okay. Just let me. Check this one and confirm.
No, sir, I did not get any messages.
Oh, but from my side, it is showing okay. The message is sent successfully. I didn't get any failed message. Taj Baba, you also getting same thing. Ajay.
Yeah, previously I received two, that import in MySQL dot connector. I received that,
Mm-hmm.
but current one is not. I didn't receive that.
There is no attachment also here. Okay, so then I will do one thing. I will share with the Salman only. Just ask Salman today, just after 5 minutes. Maybe he will provide immediately. So that's it for today, guys. And yeah, tomorrow, along with our doubts, then we will complete the few more programs.